In this video, we will introduce the VisSim embedded fixed point block set, discuss general fixed point block properties, configuration options, displaying overflow messages, and signal watermarks. The VisSim fixed point block set, located in the Blocks Fixed Point menu, provides over 30 fixed point blocks that can be used to design and simulate the performance of fixed point algorithms prior to code generation and execution on an embedded platform. Let's take a look at a fixed point constant block. By default, the block displays 1 at fx 4.16. The 1 is the constant value, fx means it's a fixed point block, 4.16 is the fixed point format, 16 bits total with 4 bits to the left of the radix point. Let's take a look at the constant block properties. The word size property is the number of bits in the fixed point number. Using the drop-down menu, you can set it to any value between 2 and 32. Most embedded targets will use a 16 or 32-bit word size. The radix point property is the number of bits to the left of the radix point. Using the drop-down menu, you can set it to any value between 0 and 16. The representable range displays the range of values based on the selection of the radix point and word size parameters. Decreasing our radix point from 4 to 2, you can see the representable range decrease. Similarly, increasing it to 8, you can see the representable range increase. The min values seen and max values seen display watermarks of the minimum and maximum values that have passed through the block. These properties and worn on overflow property are best explained with an example. We'll discuss the autoscale checkbox shortly, but we'll leave it unchecked for now. Let's attach a display to our constant block, set the constant value to 9, uncheck the worn on overflow checkbox, and click Go. The constant block turns red. Right-clicking on the block, we see the max value seen is 9, and the min value seen is -7, which is the 2's complement overflow of the value 9. Now let's check the worn on overflow checkbox and rerun. Now VisSim displays a fixed point overflow message giving you several options. The fixed point block set configuration option, located under the Tools menu, is used to set global conditions in all fixed point blocks used in a model. Let's take a look at the configuration options. First, the Override Word Size checkbox. When checked, the word sizes in all fixed point blocks in the model are replaced with the word size specified in this drop-down menu. The word size drop-down is only used when the override word size is checked. Next, the Enable Autoscaling checkbox. When checked, this turns on autoscaling for all fixed point blocks in the model that have their autoscale option checked. Let's see how this behaves using the constant model we just created. In the constant block parameters, we'll set the constant value to 9, use 4.16 format, and check the autoscale option and uncheck the worn on overflow. After clicking Go, the constant block turns red, indicating an overflow. The new format, 5.16, is displayed on the block. The Reset Radix Point at SimStart checkbox resets the radix point in all fixed point blocks in the model to 0 at the start of a simulation. This option is normally used with the Auto Scale option to automatically identify the range that produces the highest precision for each fixed point block. And finally, the Enable Overflow Alert Messages checkbox turns on the overflow alert messages for all fixed point blocks whose worn on overflow option is checked. Let's see how the Enable Overflow Alert Message feature works. We'll construct a model consisting of a slider block, a fixed point gain block, and a display block. The slider is configured to range between -100 and 100. The fixed point gain is configured with a 4.16 format, a gain of 5.5, and the worn on overflow checkbox is checked. In the fixed point block set configuration, the Enable Overflow Alert Messages checkbox is checked. The simulation is set to run for 10 seconds in real time. With the slider set to 0, click Go. After increasing the slider value, the VisSim fixed point overflow message is displayed. Clicking Ignore to continue the simulation, the slider is cycled over its range. After termination of the simulation, the fixed point gain properties are viewed. The min and max values seen are -550 and +550.